Chris likes for me to like be the one in the front so my head looks giant compared to his.
So no, now she's sitting way back there.
I'm not.
It looks like she's right next to me, but she
next to you.
So far behind me right now. It's all melon.
Anyway, our first trip was.
Our first trip was awesome.
It was awesome. Definitely took us a little while to get used to sleeping on this mattress with the dogs. I think that's the roughest part for me. It's just getting used to sleeping with the dogs.
I think part of it is just in general, like what you're used to. You know, we sleep with a noise machine at home, and silence isn't our thing. And you know, our first night we stayed at a casino, so silence wasn't the thing.
We didn't really record anything from our first 2 nights.
Yeah,
we just went down the coast and we didn't really do anything.
Just kind of winging it, and you know, we're not content creators. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe someday we'll do some of the shots, but yeah, you ever watch these videos and you're like,
how long did it take them to get that shot?
Or like, did they go back and get the camera? You know, here they are driving past this thing, and then like, did they turn around and go get it, or did they walk down, or you know?
It'll be easier too, I think, when we're living in the van.
Yeah.
To get those shots, but because we won't be in a rush to be somewhere by a certain day.
We were going to go down to California, and we ended up deciding to cut over to Crater Lake from Bandon, Oregon, on whim. We were just in Bandon, like, hey, let's just go to Crater Lake and let's cut out the middleman, which is good because there's a bunch of wildfires. And
one of the nights where we were in Central Oregon, we ended up in the Umpqua. It was the Umpqua Forest, right?
Umpqua Forest.
Yeah, Umpqua Forest. We just found this place off the forest road, but there was a fire that was really close to us. The dogs totally started freaking out, especially Duke. And Duke does not freak out. He didn't want to come outside the van. He didn't want to. He had his tail tucked between his legs at the end. So we felt a little iffy about staying out there because I always trust my dog's
It was
instinct.
a really good spot.
It was a really good spot. We were gonna stay at Diamond Lake, but we found this cool little dispersed off-grid spot, a nice big open clearing, so we can attempt to try Starlink. Ta-da! Yesterday's attempt was a fail because there was just too many trees.
This is a great place for your Starlink.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Duke.
And then of course, Dukes are loving it. Or the Dukes, the dogs are loving it. And the mosquitoes are loving us. Duke, are you just gonna? Hey, that's our dog, everybody. So yeah, not too bad. There's even a cooler spot down the road that we didn't want to risk driving down those puddles because we don't have any recovery. Is it working?
Not yet.
I was pretty worried at first because when we first got out, first thing we hear, dun, 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 dun. That's the sound
that's the sound of thunder.
That's the sound of thunder. Dun, 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 dun. But there was quite a bit of it, so haven't heard any since. And I got a mosquito bite on my forehead.
You got
What does it say?
59 megabits per second.
What does it mean?
That means we can stream movies.
Woohoo! Online. I'm like already covered from head to toe with mosquito bites. How do you have? Totally.
What's up?
What number Laffy Taffy is that?
0, because it's not Laffy Taffy. It's the real saltwater kind.
That's what I meant. What number saltwater taffy is that? 77?
Probably.
That's been Chris's only source of nutrition for the last 2 days. Saltwater taffy. What? So we just drove down to another little campsite that was right off the main road, and the dogs were fine.
Yep, group camp. It was completely free.
Yeah, it was
and
amazing.
Just pulled in, and we didn't even get out of the van. We just put up our window covers and went to sleep, and actually slept pretty well that night.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And then we were able to go to Crater Lake. I've never been to Crater Lake before. It was beautiful. We didn't really do much hiking because we weren't really prepared to go hiking, and we would have to leave the dogs inside the van. It was their first trip in the van also, so we just kind of did the touristy thing and went from viewpoint to viewpoint. Dog 1, dog 2, both needing to be co-pilots today.
8 miles.
Made it. Made it to Crater Lake. Pretty. Get your butt out. So pretty. Ow, 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 ow. Having 2 dogs on top. Oh, it's freezing away. But it was the first stop without cars.
With hardly any cars.
With hardly any cars. Y'all know English is my second language.
Yeah, you don't need to be videotaping me being out of breath.
Sure we do. You work out, you think you're in shape, until you have to walk up a hill,
Oh, now you just have one.
then you realize how out of shape you are. So cool. We're at the pinnacles in Crater Lake. Only thing that sucks about Crater Lake is that, I mean, all national parks, no dogs. That's probably for the best. Kind of a bummer, but we'll find a way around it. There's lots of other things to do with the dogs as well.
Yeah.
So once they're more, I mean, throughout the summer, they got more used to being in the van. So
they love the van.
They love the van. They're actually like, they're mad at us right now because we're out here without them.
Yeah, they keep hearing Chloe whining through the door.
Yeah. But it's really great. They're getting used to it. They just lie right down. Duke usually has a little spot between us. He's our little co-pilot. Can't keep him off the seats, but it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, they give up the windows.
As normal dogs would. And then we ended up going to Diamond Lake, which was gorgeous. We were a little worried because finding camping during summer in Oregon is pretty impossible at times, but it was a weekday, so we got
I expected it to be.
Yeah, but we got lucky. We got this beautiful spot right next to Diamond Lake. It was beautiful, windy, no mosquitoes, and I enjoyed the sun. Chris enjoyed the shade, and it was perfect.
We have a difference in complexion.
Well, I'm off to get some sun. Enjoy living the life. Where's your dad and Chloe? Are they hiding in the shade? Chloe came down. What? Chris hiding in the shade. Missing out. After Crater Lake, we drove out to Central Oregon. We ended up at McKay Crossing, so then we got to go on a hike the next day. There's natural waterfalls. It was super cheap. It was first come, first serve. We got a spot right next to the creek. So it actually turned out really well. We're on day 4 of our trip. Just making sure everything in Serenity works well. Chris put in the plumbing, batteries, AC. So far everything's been great. We are staying at campgrounds just to play it safe. Right now we are at McKay Crossing, right next to the creek. So, the only thing that sucks about campgrounds is that the dogs have to be leashed. Especially at this one because Chloe loves chasing all the chipmunks, and there are probably a million chipmunks everywhere. We're trying to maybe plan our next step for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday during summer in Oregon. Very limited places to stay. And there's Chris, as talkative as ever.
Trying to find a spot.
Yeah, he's suffering.
It's a rough life.
Yeah.
And then we ended up our trip just going to Eastern or Central Oregon near Bend and visiting Chris's brother. So that was our first trip. So it was perfect. Everything worked. Love our fridge. I was a little hesitant at first because we got the pull-out drawer isotherm, but it's awesome. Like, I am shocked by how much you can fit in there.
Yeah. It's much easier to finagle the stuff sitting in the drawer than it is to have to move stuff out of the way to get into the back of the fridge. The back of the fridge comes out, so it's like, it's awesome.
There it is. So pretty. Isotherm. Which one is it? Which model?
CS 130.
Ooh, yeah. That's what sold me. Have the other rack and a large fridge. Could fit so much ice cream in there.
Large freezer.
Large freezer. Yep. I'm glad we went with this one. Yay.
So, love the fridge. It's been running non-stop under its own power with the solar panels and everything. I only have it hooked up to the 110, even though it has that feature.
The second time we went camping, we were really looking forward to taking the van to one of our favorite spots, and it was along the Clackamas River. And we hadn't been out there since before the fires.
Yeah, before COVID.
And it's completely destroyed. It was shocking.
10 miles of Fort River forest, just
yeah, we had
just
to turn around because the road was completely closed. So usually we would have taken that road and gone through the mountains and ended up coming out of Detroit, which we always end up coming out of Detroit no matter where we go. But it was completely closed off because there's just so many burned trees still that they haven't cleared out, and it's a danger. I mean, it was really sad. It was depressing.
You know, we're forest people, and you know that's one of the beautiful things about living in the Pacific Northwest is the green, lush forests, you know, in your backyard. And it's gone. And we ended up going out the Molalla River. That was a good test for the van because we have a 2-wheel drive van, and we were kind of concerned about the limitations of it. And we went everywhere on those logging roads.
Everywhere we're allowed.
Yeah, everywhere we're allowed. I mean, there were points where we were concerned. We do have the AC unit hanging out from the bottom of the van, so have to be a little bit, you know, play it safe so we don't take off the condenser or anything. But yeah, it did a lot. It was pretty cool. We also didn't have any cell phone service, and at one point we had to break out the Starlink to get our maps because we were trying to get out the other side of the mountains. and you can't. The Molalla River logging roads, they don't go out the other side to eastern Oregon. They just stop, and so Starlink is a big plus. We've been using that pretty regularly in our trips.
We didn't really have a plan. We were just out driving. And so we ended up going to Corvallis and went up Mary's Peak. Had never been there before. Gorgeous day. Amazing views.
Mary's Peak was one of those places that, I've driven probably around it tons of times going out to the coast. But yeah, never actually been up there. And they have a little 6-site campground right at the top. And then 360-degree views. You can see the mountains, you can see the ocean, you can see, it was just stunning. It was awesome.
Yeah. But we are really happy with the choice that we have made. It's really paying off. It's not done, obviously, but we were able to enjoy it this summer, and now that the weather's maybe changing, still 85 degrees, we'll be able to just wind down and slow down and finish it up and over this next year, and hopefully be ready to move into next summer.
next year.
Yeah.
Time is flying. It's middle of October.
Yep, we've done. Yeah, I know. But we've been able to enjoy it so much. We did the Tough Mudder obstacle course in Seattle. The first night we just ended up staying in a rest area, and it was super chill. Didn't have to think about where we were gonna camp. Then we drove through Mount Rainier Forest, and after that we took it to Eastern Oregon to visit Chris's dad. It's just really paying off, because we would not have been able to do any of these things. We had the Jeep and we were doing a lot of overlanding, but it's just so much less thinking now. We just literally
park, go to bed,
pack our clothes and hop in the van.
Yep.
But next up is the galley, which is the one thing and water heater. That's something that's going to be amazing, because I need to wash my face.
Yeah, and
having to go outside in the dark with all the bugs has not been pleasant, since we have the hookup in the back.
The awning's coming.
That's right.
The tire carrier's coming. So it's
hopefully we'll be better about recording those videos.
Yeah, and as we do finish work, I feel like we have some unique ideas that are going to be worth sharing with people. One of the things that's hard about this is it's popular. If you're even watching this, you probably know us. If you don't know us, thank you. But it's like I said, we're not content creators. We're on a grand adventure, and we just kind of want to share it
and just document it for ourselves.
Yeah, posterity, and learn some new skills along the way.
Yeah. Hopefully, next adventure is right around the corner.
Yeah, what is our next adventure?
I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to it.
Probably Thanksgiving. We'll go do something over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Is this what we're doing now?
This is what we're doing
Headlocks.
Headlocks. Oh, gotta take out my aggression towards you somehow. Just kidding.